Welcome and thanks for joining us. My guest today is Bree Frost, the Director of Security and IT Ops Curriculum for Pluralsight. Bree, good to have you with us.
Thanks, Tom.
And you're operating in this area of DoD Directive 8140 for cybersecurity education training. Tell us what it is and why it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. 8140 regulation is a way so that we can all upskill and increase our training for those who work in government and military organizations. I've had the pleasure of sitting through training that is incredibly relevant and really helping us, but it's very variable about how it's administered, what technical level it's covered, and how it practically applies to a particular role in the space. So this framework, the 8140 and the DCWF framework, is really helping us all be more consistent in our offerings and really all focusing towards the same mission of improving our training that's practically and applied and relevant to all work roles in this space.
So organizations then in DoD really have two sides to the task. One is to figure out what it is they need to fill the gaps in their workforce skills and training, and then to actually give them the skills and training they need to get up to speed and compliance with the 8140.
Correct. And the 8140 is going to help bring a lot of analytics and visualization to what roles within government and military organizations are more difficult to recruit for, difficult to hire for, and then difficult to train for. And so really bringing a lot more of like, where in the industry do we need to fulfill and supplement for training? Where do we need better recruiting resources? Where do we need better hiring resources? And really help build out a framework of what a cybersecurity workforce should look like.
And it seems like 8140 presupposes the idea that pretty much into every technical role everywhere, there is a cybersecurity element.
Yes, it's one of my favorite things about 8140. I think we all can agree that security is everybody's role and responsibility at this point. If you're sitting in a technical role, we should be considering how cybersecurity is relevant and what we need to keep in mind as we do our day-to-day tasks, regardless of what role you sit in. So this starts with like a security first framework. Whether you're an AI developer, IT admin, where does cybersecurity fit within your day-to-day roles?
And just give us a sense of the breadth of roles that are covered by 8140. It's not just two or three things, policy and tapping away on a keyboard, but it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's 72, soon to be 73 work roles within this framework. It overlaps between, there's 7 different elements. So it starts with cybersecurity, cybersecurity enablers, IT, software developers. And what I really like about this is it's consistently revised and consistently reviewed. There are RFPs for new roles being looked at and assessed consistently all of the time. So when we saw a big ramp up of AI industry come kind of disrupted the industry, people knew AI was a technology, but not sure what those roles would look like and what those people's job titles would be. So they built out something like AI ethics specialist, AI testing and system, evaluator, and different things like that, where it's helping kind of be more forefront of what are the new roles for these new technologies looking like, and how does cybersecurity relate to all of those?
And everybody's talking about government efficiency, and one of the things they're seeking is efficiency in training and delivery of this information. So having a good baseline, knowing what is required for each of those 72 or 73 roles can help management really tailor training so that you can focus it where it's needed and not kind of broad brush everybody, which might get it done but might not be very efficient.
Yeah, I love the term efficiency. Anybody who has ever worked with me knows I'm all for efficiency. And that's why I appreciate the 8140, because you say the term cybersecurity analyst, for example. We all know there's multiple tiers of cybersecurity analysts, multiple places where somebody gives a starting point of knowledge and their end goal of knowledge. And that's why I really appreciate the 8140 kind of giving a baseline of knowledge, and then, like I said, advancing the skill level through training. And Pluralsight specifically, how we kind of come into the places, our assessments give you a baseline of your own knowledge. So you're able to assess, hey, I don't need to learn about the CIA triad for the 300th umpteenth time, but this is your skill gap within this particular work role, and you can be the most efficient by taking 15, 20, 30 minutes of your time to bridge that skill gap as quickly as possible and move forward in your role.
So you therefore offer what it is organizations need to assess people and assess individuals, as well as what it is they need to fill the gap once assessed.
Correct. And like from as a cybersecurity practitioner myself, like I believe that we all know we need to continue learning. The list of skills I know I need to learn and upskill and just is forever growing. And so it really helps saying it can be overwhelming of like, yes, I need to learn this whole long list of things, but this one is what's most relative to my role. And this is where I can prioritize that skill first and foremost because it's most relevant to my work role ID and the way that they're providing this training structure.
And in a contemporary organization, what form does all of this assessment and then the follow on training take? I mean, it used to be maybe CDs or books, that type of thing, but I imagine it's a little different nowadays.
Yeah, it's all on-demand training as far as Pluralsight platforms goes. There's plenty of other training providers out there, whether it's, in-person training or through another on-demand platform, and we kind of all collaborate together within an LMS. But Pluralsight specifically has kind of a learning path. So you would go into the platform, pick your work role ID, and it starts with kind of a pre-skill assessment where you can take, as I mentioned, assess yourself, and then it sections each work role off into kind of here's the fundamentals that you need for this work role. We're finding a lot of cybersecurity professionals are skipping some of that implied knowledge. So maybe you're a Linux person your whole career and you need to upskill on brush up on the intrinsics of the Windows operating system, or maybe DNS. Maybe we all need to understand how DNS protocols work, as all of us cybersecurity practitioners have that inside joke that it's always DNS, right? And so those protocols and those processes and those systems kind of starting with those fundamentals, and then it goes into the essentials of that work role, where within those particular skills, all the way down to the tasks and abilities within that role, what do you need to do in your day-to-day? And then it goes into like a little bit more of that adjacent knowledge. Well, you may be working as a cyber operator and compliance isn't in your every single day task that you do as you sit down on hands on keyboard, but it's something that you should know, and it is an adjacent skill that you should have relative to your role.
And just looking at this from the standpoint of industry requirements, some people need degrees to do their jobs. Some people need certifications. Other people need just an accredited training program that proves to the organization. And tell us where Pluralsight best operates.
As you mentioned, there are 3 different modalities to the 8140 training regulation. There is degrees, there are certifications, and there are accredited training programs. Pluralsight specifically offers an accredited training program. We see ourselves in the industry as that practical application piece. So because we have those hands-on experiences and because we really offer an in-depth offering of having to assess your skill set and really improve all the way through that entire work role, we see ourselves as that instrumental piece of you learn via textbook, you learn via study a book and then take a certification exam, and then you really bring that practical experience and hands-on knowledge into your work role. And that really where we see all of the members kind of using opportunity, a robust learning piece for all 3 of these ways to train.
And just a final quick question. People can customize what it is they are consuming from Pluralsight for their style, their pace, and their situation.
They can. And that's what you mentioned efficiency. That's what I also really love about this is I'm not going to teach you on a SIEM or an environment that isn't replicable to your environment that you're working on in your day-to-day. You can choose what technologies you work in and what skills are most important to you to really make sure that you're building your skill set as quickly as possible to be as good at your job as you can.
Bree Frost is the Director of Security and IT Ops Curriculum for Pluralsight. Good to have you with us today.
Thanks, Tom. Great to be here.
And I'm Federal Drive host Tom Temin. You're watching Federal News Network. Let's go back to the studio now for more on the DoD Modernization Exchange.